In the year 2000, the Mortal Kombat Federation of Martial Arts web series was released online, but due to its lack of quality and effort, it was cancelled a year later, becoming a forgotten Mortal Kombat web series. The web series was filmed by John Medlin, and according to the description listed in the IMDb page, the Mortal Kombat Federation of Martial Arts was Threshold Entertainment's answer to the restrictions of the franchise involving the Midway game Mortal Kombat. In case you're new to Mortal Kombat, Midway used to be the company that the Mortal Kombat games were created by, but it went bankrupt and in 2010 they no longer existed. Luckily, the Midway Chicago studio, which was the Mortal Kombat team, ended up becoming a part of Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, and it was later rebranded as NetherRealm Studios. But going back to the MK Federation of Martial Arts, it was a web series that would be exclusive to the official Mortal Kombat website, and it would consist of a series of live-action serialized fights with characters from the Mortal Kombat films and the live-action television series. The point of this web series was to create somewhat of a game that could successfully promote the games without competing against them. They developed a stock market investing game model that would be attached to an active online community to hopefully generate interest. And with the community discussion built every week, that would lead to a big fight that would play out in installments over the weekend. This would have players betting on their favorite Mortal Kombat characters by purchasing more stock prior to a fight and then hoping that their stock would go up in a battle if their selected combatant won. So pretty much, the player would be given fake money to bet on a certain Mortal Kombat character, and then Threshold Entertainment would prepare a few short clips of the two combatants, each clip being developed over the weekend, which sounds interesting if you think about it. What's even more interesting is that these guys would include some of the actual cast members from the movies and the television series. So what could go wrong? Well, let's take a look at a few of these fights. It's good to see that the actor Lynn Red Williams, who portrayed Jax in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, reprised his role. But like in MK Annihilation, he makes Major Briggs act like Sinbad. So seeing this Jax is probably not a good thing. Unless the fight turns out to be good, but it isn't. It's more like something any YouTuber from 2010 could easily come up with. I love how he slowly descends from the heavens as Jax is standing unnaturally still. Then Rain hits him from behind and the first round is over. I wonder what the viewers for the first round premiere must have felt like when they waited over a week to see this and this was the first round. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to have Jax repeat his lines, wasting seconds to end it with this performance. Last time we saw Rain was when he was easily killed off by Shao Kahn in MK Annihilation, just because he didn't make Kabal and Stryker beg for their lives before killing them. Good job, Shao Kahn, you're a reasonable emperor. I was hoping that Rain could redeem himself after his terrible demise in Annihilation, but he gets his ass kicked by Sinbad. Also, I gotta mention the costumes. Jax is no longer sporting those metallic arms, so maybe this truly is the sequel to Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Or they just didn't have the budget and told the actor to show up with black pants and a black sleeveless jacket. So all the ninja characters that appear in Mortal Kombat Federation of Martial Arts are actually wearing the classic costume similar to the first Mortal Kombat game, but with the mouthpieces from the movies. Some of them. So the fight ends with Jax grabbing Rain and punching him multiple times like one of his special moves. A good way to finish it. But then they end the fight by showing us Rain's bushy armpits, and then Jax does this.
I'm the man.
Let's look at the fight between Kitana versus Johnny Cage. Good to see that Kitana is actually wearing a costume that resembles her video game versions, even if it looks like they bought the costume at the Dollar Tree. But look at Johnny Cage, how could they mess that up? Seeing as the actor portraying Johnny Cage doesn't have any muscle definition, it's obvious that he had to keep his shirt on. With the non-existent budget they had, I'm guessing they couldn't pay a real toned actor with martial arts skills to play the role of JC. So instead, they made the camera guy be JC, or just someone else on set, assuming they had a set. Or maybe that's the web series creator John Medlin. Seeing as his web series is cheesy as fuck, I would have just told the guy to draw some abs on himself. I mean, what are they gonna think? That it's unprofessional? Man, and I thought Johnny Cage in MK Annihilation was a wasted character.
Those were $650 sunglasses.
So Kitana kicks his sunglasses off, and he says that those were $650 sunglasses. Oh my, how original.
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Oh, what the hell is he doing? She kicked you in the face, man. You're seriously going to keep your guard down and casually pick up those sunglasses? I'm with Kitana on this one. He deserves another kick to the face. JC kind of looks like Drake Bell in this shot.
Hey. I wish you never met Mr. Jimmy Cage.
Did he call himself Jimmy Cage? I couldn't tell what he was saying, but I'm pretty sure he called himself Jimmy Cage.
I wish you never met Mr. Jimmy Cage.
It all makes sense now. This isn't the Johnny Cage. That's his autistic younger brother, Jimmy Cage. At the beginning of this fight, I felt bad for Kitana since she had to put up with such a pathetic opponent. A discount Johnny Cage. But halfway through the fight, I felt bad for Jimmy. It's good to see that he at least landed 3 hits on Kitana, but it's downhill for him. Kitana just smacks him around, and he just takes it. Jimmy shouldn't have worried about his $650 sunglasses. He should have put on his helmet. Let's move on to the next fight. Sonya versus Ermac.
So, we meet again.
I hear you've been hanging out with Shang Tsung.
What's the deal with Sonya's face? It could be camo face paint, or she probably fell face first on a pile of horseshit and thought she cleaned it all off. It's really hard to tell with that pixelated quality. I gotta say though, the choreography in this one is not bad. I was hoping for Ermac to win the fight since he lost to her in MK Annihilation, but that's because Jax interfered. Jax does this yet again, but only this time it's when Sonya goes up against Sub-Zero.
I'll get you, bitch!
Let's move on to the next fight.
Liu Kang versus Scorpion. Fight! Get over here! Kang wins. Fatality.
It looks like they only got a hold of 2 actors that reprised their roles, which was Jax and Sion, or Cyan. Everyone else was played by a different actor, but they wore similar outfits to the ones seen in the films, like Shang Tsung, Ermac, and even Kitana wore that same outfit with the addition of a homemade ninja mask. There's a song here that was used in the terribly animated short film known as Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. Not sure why they decided to use this one song as well as this one other song that plays throughout most fights, when they should have used tracks from the video game soundtracks. I'm sure that couldn't have been a copyright problem. This Liu Kang isn't half bad when it comes to doing his stunts. He's good at pulling off these choreographed moves. The funny thing is that they decided to make him lose against 2 fighters, Sub-Zero and a random character known as Hikata, who was most likely just another one of Shang Tsung's guards that decided to join the tournament in hopes of taking down an Earthrealm warrior before inevitably losing. But he actually beat Liu Kang! I bet you everyone that voted on this fight when it premiered, everyone must have bet on Liu Kang to win. And if there was at least one guy voting on Hikata to win, then that's the story of the underdog right there. They should have named him Clown Baby while they were at it. My favorite fight is when they digitally impose Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat Conquest as if he was actually fighting against Rain. Here's one for you Sub-Zero and MK Conquest fans. We got Sub-Zero going up against Cyan from Mortal Kombat Conquest, played by the same actress, Dana He. As a quick fact, she was also the stunt double for Kitana, Jane, and Sindel in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So it's cool to see her portray that role again. But it's hard to enjoy this fight because of Sub-Zero's muffled dialogue.
You alive in there?
Maybe this is why Sub-Zero doesn't talk much, because when he's got shit to say, it's an Oscar-worthy performance.
Come on, get up. Is that all you got? What's the matter? Need some help getting up? Whoa!
And like with Jimmy Cage, sometimes you can't understand what he's saying. The choreography here is okay, but very paced. They get a C for making Sub-Zero actually use his special moves, but they get an F for the dialogue and special effects. I know this is meant to be eyes, but it looks like that area just got pixelated. I'm really curious as to what special effects program was used for these fights. Can you pull this off on a Windows Movie Maker? Or is that program too advanced for these results? I know it's cool that they actually got Sub-Zero to pull off a fatality as well, but what the hell is this? Did they take a picture of Dana He and wrap it around a soccer ball? It's so bad that it's hard to tell what they did to come up with these results. It kind of looks like a plastic sheet wrapped around a picture with the edges erased. Yeah, I think that's what they did here. Let's move on to another fight. Scorpion versus Nightwing. This is the only fight where it doesn't take place in a green screen. They did a pretty good job with Scorpion's costume and mouthpiece. It's very similar to the one in MK Annihilation, only the center metallic piece doesn't have vertical lines. The weird thing about this fight is that it ends with the second round. There's no footage found of the third round, so I think maybe they didn't get the approval of the landlord whose backyard was being used, and they had to just dip out. That's the only conclusion I can think of. I'd like to talk about the rest of the fights, but I'd probably be taking over an hour talking about them.
This is a man's world. Why'd they send a woman?
So the last thing I gotta mention is the dumbest part about this web series, which was when Jax was convicted of something. I honestly don't know what happens here. Again, it's hard to tell what anyone is saying. They turned Mortal Kombat into a court case where the Elder Gods are the judges, and we got superimposed images of combatants standing there as if they were witnessing the case. At one point, they used stock footage of Raiden from Mortal Kombat Conquest and do nothing useful with it. And this court case goes on for too long.
Major Briggs, would you please punch this piece of steel?
this really starts to feel like you're playing a game on the Philips CDI. So as you can see, this didn't work out. The quality is around 240p, the dialogue and acting was terrible when there was dialogue, and the green screen with special effects looked worse than what AVGN knockoffs could come up with. I'm pretty sure that they could have redeemed themselves if they included the one thing that Mortal Kombat is mainly known for: hardcore blood and gore. But of course, they want to keep everything family friendly, so they neutered Mortal Kombat yet again and gave this to us. I guess they sort of tried it with Sub-Zero's fatality, but the results looked worse than censorship. A Mortal Kombat fan might find some appreciation for this. Sadly, this simply cannot be fixed. However, it can be turned into memes, and memes can turn anything into a goddamn masterpiece. If it had any sort of quality, then this web series project could have worked. However, Mortal Kombat was losing its insane popularity around the early 2000s, most likely because again they neutered every show and movie that came out at the time. So if they were going to continue with their family-friendly bullshit, it wasn't going to work out. Also, why were they worried about whether this could retcon the games? The games retcon themselves all the time, even till today. They should have just stuck to giving us something that the movies and television shows wouldn't give us. I mean, after all, it was based on the most violent fighting game, and most importantly, it was a web series, so they could hold no bounds. Instead, they preferred to take a weak approach and turn the cheesiness of the already cheesy live-action versions and crank that shit to dangerously cheesy. Even the Elder Gods knew that this would bring Armageddon to the live-action franchise, so they allowed the Earthrealm mortal John Medlin to meddle with the web series and deliver MK cringe to a whole new level. But you know what? I kinda enjoyed it. It's hilariously bad, and sometimes projects like this are far more entertaining than a full-length movie nowadays. But if you really want to see what a perfect live-action Mortal Kombat match looks like, the channel known as Mike Diva made one badass fight between Scorpion versus Noob Saibot to celebrate the Mortal Kombat Legacy series that had launched on Machinima. We'll have to talk about that MK Legacy series another time. For now, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to see extra videos, have early access to upcoming videos, and you'd like to vote on what you want to see next, or you simply just want to see your name at the end of the videos, then feel free to support the channel by donating a single dollar to my Patreon. The link is on the description, along with the link to my Facebook page, DeviantArt, and Twitter. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.